Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, outsiders of all ages, 8:30 on a Wednesday. Bring your drinks. It's time for the outsiders. We are here minus one outsider. We will let you know all those details coming up. But first, it is the outsiders brought to you by Poncho Outdoors. This guy right here's got one on. Look at that red baby. That's the Chilton right there. The Chilton. This guy right here is a lazy adult that's been wearing one of these beautiful t-shirts all day long. That's me. It's been one of those days. You can do that. You can also do this. You like to go fishing? How about a super chugger? How about the Magic Ruckus, which might be my favorite name of any poncho shirt ever? PonchoOutdoors.com. Make sure you mention the outsiders when you get your order. All right. We'll start out with the drinking, and then we'll send our best wishes to a lot of folks. First off, the upper left in a T formation is still the quarterback, still Mach 5. Chance, what are we drinking?
I'm so boring tonight. I'm so boring. I'm so sorry to all my outsider faithful. Tonight, it's just water. I'm on call. You know, there's this job thing. I don't know, like these bills. Every time I check the mail, shit just keeps coming in there. So anyway, so I'm on call. So I'm stuck with my giant glass of water today, which I'm sure I'll fill up at least 3 times.
Okay. Good man.
Somebody drink for me, please.
Bo and I will have to carry our weight. I'm sipping a little bit of the brown water, a little old camp whiskey that I know Bo will be proud of. It's tasty.
Cool.
It's tasty.
All right. As you know, I'm not a bourbon snob. I love to drink bourbon and whiskey, but I like 9 times out of 10, I'm mixing it with Coke Zero or Diet Coke. Like tonight, a friend of mine came over last weekend, and so we gave this a shot. And after one sip of it, it's called Barman, and I'm not getting paid to endorse it. This is what you would call a Coke Zero bourbon.
Nice logo.
Without a lot of Coke Zero, it tastes like it's just not good. But when you load it up with Coke Zero, it will put the fizz where the trouble is, and enough of it, you'll be just fine.
You got Coke Zero in my bourbon. You got bourbon in my Coke Zero. All right, so
the good stuff can be drinking straight. That is not good stuff.
Bo Edge, before we tell them why we're in a T formation, can you give me like a quick play call in a T formation? Can you give me one of those?
Boo, 38! Boo, 38! Jason, Dick! Well, we'll stop there because I don't want us thrown off YouTube.
Yeah. No, don't do that. Yes, don't do that. If you get... We appreciate all of you in the chat. We'll get to you in a sec. Let's remind you, no Jason Dick tonight. Not because he's just, got all kinds of things.
Razor made this sign when we first started the show, so.
Yeah, Jason Bick is dumb. And more importantly, though, he is going Matt Damon in rounders. He's taking his chance. He's sitting at the table. He's going to give it a try. He is at the World Series of Poker. So we wish Jason all the best. All the best of luck.
Just texted with him. He is at the dinner break of the event that he's in tonight. I don't know which one it is because he had 5 of them, I think, on his agenda for this trip to Vegas for the World Series. And as someone who has done that gauntlet, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, that's it.
Everybody thinks playing poker is fun or whatever. You start before noon and you don't leave the room until after 2 a.m., it gets tiring.
Yeah, I do not have that type of stamina. Also, we want to send our best to those folks dealing with crazy weather tonight. Our man Chris Bennett is in Washington State. Hopefully that weather's good. But in and around the Austin area, some pretty crazy weather, maybe some hail, those kind of things. Also, so we send our best wishes out to all of you. Hope you're safe and sound. But Bo, we also need to send our best wishes out to the Dish. Are we getting in reports on the outsiders? This is what you count on when you watch the outsiders. Late breaking information. Are we getting info that the Dish has taken some weather this week?
I'm looking at 2 pictures that were just sent to me less than 30 minutes ago from just if left field is here and the Yeti yard is here, the gap between the Yeti yard and the Jumbotron.
Okay.
It is not there anymore.
Oh, geez.
It is, in the immortal words of the Dixie Chicks, wide open spaces.
Wide open spaces.
See right there. Now, I can try to go chance mock and hold my phone.
Show us the picture, Bo. Let's go.
So
Here,
you're
do what you will with that.
wow.
Can you see the gap in the tooth like Jason's smile when he was here? That gap right there is the hole.
So are you saying? Are you saying a double would just roll all the way to the softball field? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, it'd be like, back in the day when they used to play games at the Clark Field, like the now intramural fields, and there were no fences. Like it just keeps going.
There it is. By the way, Chance told you he's on call, so he jumped off and back on. Was that what it was, Chance? Or
it was a quick one, but we're good.
Quick one. Okay. Quick deal. Could be that Chance. Remember, it could be that Chance is on call. It could also be that the cat needs to get in the shower. So there's a lot of things that could be going on at Chance's house. If you've ever been listening to an Outsider show and you hear in the background, it is literally his cat saying, "Put me in the shower, turn the shower on immediately." It's incredible. It's incredible. He's my favorite cat maybe in the world.
The cat is remarkable. So, Chad, you're a buff of all things stadium, uniform, the whole 9 yards. Chance, I think, knows this. Did you know that back in the day that UT baseball used to play at Clark Fields and there was no outfield wall? And at one point, it was just a rock wall.
Really?
And above the rock wall was live. Before they built this field, because I have people that I know in my life that I'm reasonably close to that were lettermen at UT in the late 60s, early 70s. They used to – one of them played outfield and said there was a special trail in between right and center that if you took 2 steps, it was almost like you could run straight up there and nail somebody. But if you didn't know where the trail was, then you had to go around or try to climb the wall.
What the heck?
Like,
so
if right over by Jester – you know what I'm talking about, Chance, that big rock wall that used to be the outfield wall.
Wow. And if the ball goes over the wall, that's not a home run?
It's not a home run. The ball was live. You can go get it. You can throw it like my friend said he had 2 outfield assists in 1973 from over the wall.
That's messed up.
Because the runner, the guy would hit a homer and kind of be lazily trotting around the bases, not realizing the local rule, and you go up there and throw
that is completely messed up. All right, let's fire up some Outsiders tonight. We got a Mock 5 Top 5 coming up later on. Chance is going to get us a little bit of he's going to get us better rules. We're going to have rule changes, a little preview for you. That's coming up a little bit later on. It's going to be Chance's 5 rule changes in any sport, prospective rule changes, any sport. Unfortunately, Jason Dick is not here for this one this week, because that's probably better, because I think he was going to put like a horse at the Indianapolis 500 or something really weird. So we may be better off without.
I think there was something about when you're playing golf in a lame-ass 2-man scramble with your buddies. If you make a bogey, it counts as an equal.
Let me tell you, Jason's not here, but last week he kind of teased his little BS, that golden batter rule that the MLB was talking about. And so just a little teaser for the Mock 5 Top 5. My answer to that made honorable mention is the pitcher replacement, so that like softball in Major League in actual baseball, a pitcher can return to the mound after being pulled. So that you want to do that? Okay. We'll just do a little quick shimmy shammy on you.
I like it. Okay. All right. We'll have that coming up a little bit later.
What part of the thesaurus is shimmy shammy?
Part of the thesaurus, Bo. Don't you worry
about
old
that. Shimmy shammy. Yep, that's what it is.
I swear you just made up
before we get into a little SEC.
Before
we get into a little SEC spring media discussion, let's start thanking some of our great partners. We obviously mentioned Poncho, since we're brought to you by Poncho Outdoors. Also, how about the good folks at Covert Ford? Kimberly has a little something for you.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Covert, and since 1909, the Covert family has been committed to Austin's community. For 116 years, we've grown with Texas, driving progress, building trust, and serving the Austin community. Whether it's the all-new 2025 F-150 or the versatile 2025 Ford Maverick, we're here to help you find the perfect fit, just like we've done for generations. At Covert Ford, it's more than cars. It's about family, service, and a legacy of trust. Visit Covert Ford.
I am digging, dig that commercial. A little 360 bridge, a little Congress Avenue. We see you working, Covert Ford. All right, gentlemen, SEC media spring meetings in Destin, Florida happening. I know Chance threw in on our chat today. He enjoyed the Paul Feinbaum interviewing Lane Kiffin today. That happened. That was part of the entertainment value. But there's two big things to me, guys, that kind of started the discussions in Destin. I think they're two critical elements moving forward. I want to get your thoughts on both. The first one is 8 or 9 conference games. They are talking about it. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do. The prevailing opinion has been that they're going to go to 9 at some point. I have said for years, I think they're going to stay as long as they can with 8, but I want to get y'all's thoughts. Bo's shaking his head. Bo, tell me where you think this ends up. We're going to end up at 8 or 9?
It's 100% 9. With the changes they're making to the playoff, the only rationale to keep it at 8 was to give more teams the opportunity not to have blemishes on their record and to set up a true conference championship game for TV. If they're going to this 4-4, 2-2 with wild cards, you're looking at scenarios where the SEC or Big Ten are getting 5, 6 teams in the playoff. You don't have to sugarcoat the middle of the season anymore. You can be a 2 or 3 loss team out of the SEC and get in. So they're going to do 9 because that's what ESPN and the TV contracts want. And guess who's going to fight their fight? The same way when Texas wanted some extra money when they were coming to the SEC to defray some of the costs, they used some of the Longhorn Network money to do different things. They'll do that here. The SEC will strike a deal to where they get their 4, as does the Big Ten, because they also know that those wild card spots could very easily be SEC teams. And in exchange, they'll give you a 9th game on national TV. I don't think there's any other way it's going to go. Like, you can't take away if they get rid of conference championship games and go to the play-in games like they're talking about, like 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5 in the 2 big conferences. You can't take away the championship game and not do something. So I think
that's so real quick. Sorry, Chance, before I get to you, lay this out for me, Bo, because obviously we put it on the show tonight. SEC and Big Ten are running things here. So what's their dream? What is their dream moving forward? Is it a model where you always get like 4 SEC in and 4 Big Ten? Is that where we're headed?
You haven't heard the model that it is literally about to be voted on and passed? It's 4 guaranteed SEC teams, 4 guaranteed Big Ten teams, 2 for the Big 12, 2 for the ACC, 1 for the group of 5 or whatever the hell you want to call is left for Boise State and others. There's a spot for Notre Dame and 3 wildcard spots. If Notre Dame doesn't qualify, it would be 4 wildcard spots.
So wait, 4 and 4 is 8.
Or sorry, 3 wildcard spots, one of which would be Notre Dame, because it's 13 with the conferences, and then there's 3 open spots, which are basically going to be SEC and Big Ten teams, or Notre Dame if they qualify, or in a rare scenario where there's actually 3 good teams in the Big 12, they could sneak one in. But the SEC and Big Ten are now getting 4 guarantees with the potential of getting 5 or 6. With
all right, so Chance, if that's true, then I still can make the argument that the SEC needs to stay at 8. They've been doing it for years. They create more 9 and 10 win teams, and in this case, maybe more 11 win teams. Doesn't that still get them a better opportunity to get more teams in? Why give everybody an extra SEC game if you don't have to?
Well, especially if you're going to continue to play the SEC championship. If the championships are there,
right.
If the championships are there, I don't think there's any reason to go to 9. Like, I have a weird, and I mentioned this to you, Chad, too. Like, we're to a point now, and there's going to be some people that are pissed off here. This, obviously, with Clemson being one of the favored teams right now. But, like, you could almost make a deal where you play 8 SEC games, because you got 2 16-team conferences, that you play 8 SEC games and 4 Big Ten opponents every year. And that's your schedule.
Come on, Chance. Don't bring a badass idea to a college football discussion. Please don't do that.
I mean, you build a schedule like that's 32 teams. It's like the NFL.
Okay, but the other thing that and I know, again, we built the whole show around this idea. I get that the SEC and the Big Ten have the power. But do we really want a world where that's all there is? Like, is that really it? Y'all tell me. You're both Texas fans.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem is that money is going to, and you know this, Chad, they've ruined it. They ruined it when they opened up the portal deal. They opened up the NIL without putting the restrictions on it. They did a really bad thing because there was a lot of parity in college football. There was a lot of parity. And that you had teams like Louisville able to make runs, like legitimate runs that people were talking about. Mm-hmm. All that money is isolating to the top power teams now. The big blue chip type organizations, and most of them sit in the Big Ten and the SEC. That's where they are.
Right.
I mean, especially with USC coming over, Oregon's now over there in the Big Ten. I mean,
but we're not headed to just that, right? It can't just those teams. That's it.
Chad, in a 16-team playoff that has 3 wild card spots, there are open spots for anybody that plays their ass off to get in. Mm-hmm. Like, that's
I like that idea.
The 16 with 3 wild cards is significantly better than 18 the way it's currently structured.
Man, and that playoff feels like it would even last a little longer, right? To see what they would do schedule-wise.
Well, but so if they get rid of conference championship games,
is that a part of this model that you're talking about as well?
It is a potential part of the model where for what would normally be championship game week now, the SEC champ and SEC runner-up are automatically in. Then the 3 through 6 have play-in games. 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5. So now 6 teams from the 2 big conferences are getting a chance to get in the playoffs, and the other 2 will have their normal play-in, playoff championship games. The Big 12 can have a championship game if they want, or they can choose how they want to handle it. It's kind of the SEC and Big Ten dictating.
I guess
what it does do, if this works, 3-4 years from now, you could have teams from conferences that may not get in scheduling each other on their own nickel on that Saturday. So you have Boise versus whoever. Mm-hmm. Arizona State. Boise versus Louisville's in the ACC. Boise versus whatever team has Oregon State, who has no conference right now. We're both doing really well. We're 10-2. Let's go play each other on a field. We might be able to get us a wild card game. Let's go. Well, I think you can see some interesting matchups that come out of that.
Here's why I say it's 100% predicated on if the SEC championship goes away, because there's not a snowball's chance in hell you take your 2 top teams and make them play 10 conference games. Like you cannot let them. That's just not a possible. That's insanity.
Yeah, and
that's why I was saying, if they do the entire model that I have read about time and time again, and there is no SEC championship game, you would have those play-in games, which would be 10th games, but they would be 10th games that are basically playoff games already. Yeah. It's the qualifying round for the playoffs, and I think teams would be willing to do that. But all the arguments from this year would have gone away in this scenario. Alabama would have been in. South Carolina would have been in. Hell, Colorado probably gets in as a wild card for the TV bucks. You get every scenario you're looking for cinched up with a bow on top.
By the way, Travis Hunter does not look in the clips they've shown. Good Lord, he does not look like this generational talent that we've seen. His route running is not good.
Well, he's a cornerback that plays receiver.
Where the hell did that comment come from? How did that pop in?
Because he just said
Colorado.
He was mentioning Colorado.
Okay, I was like, where did Travis Hunter come from?
But that's not the thing, Bo. They want him as a wide receiver that plays DB some of the time.
Well, that's just what they're showing because they're trying to sell tickets.
Oh.
All right, real quick, our man ATX Bates did jump in with a $4.99 super chat. Hot take: buy or sell, SEC and Big Ten are going to break away and bring enough big teams with them to set up a 64-team league and set up their own thing. God, I hope that's a sell. ATX Bates.
It's not a hard sell though. It's not.
The only thing that keeps it from being a buy right now is the Big Ten's TV contract goes through 32. 34, and they're not messing with any existing contract to do things like that. Eventually, like when our kids are grown up, maybe. But I guess it's more just a matter of what kind of sports fan are you at this point? Are you 1950s Pleasantville where everybody gets a shot at it and everybody's trying to have fun? Or do you realize that just like in life, there are bigger fish in the pond and they need to go fight each other because it's just not fun to watch a killer whale take on a guppy.
Yeah.
And
By
yes,
the way,
maybe the guppy has some magic power one time and shoots poison in his eye. But no, eventually the killer whale is going to win every single time.
Bo, congratulations. Easily the most adorable thing you have ever said on The Outsiders is referencing college football and saying everybody gets in. Everybody gets in just started last season. It's a sport that never, ever had everybody gets in. But I love that you tried to make it that way. Well done. Well done trying to be old man. You know, we used to have it where everybody got. No, you didn't. No, you didn't, old man. You didn't.
Look, you did. Kind of.
Well, no, you didn't.
You didn't. Hold on. Now to the buy or sell. And I've been saying this, and I don't know if Bo remembers it or not, because I may have started saying it more on the show with Sean, but I've been saying it for a long time that I feel like that college football needs to adopt more of a model like European soccer, where your top 64 teams are in the upper. There's 4 16-team conferences, and your top 64 are in an upper bracket, and they're playing. And every 4 years, the bottom, like say the bottom 6 or bottom 8 drop to the bottom, and the top 8 and the bottom come up to and that way you have an opportunity to do things and grow. But I think it keeps it. Look, I thought you were going to go with the cute, him calling them guppies, but I'm the same way. Like, I don't think there's value in college football to say, you know, well, I mean, it's a throwaway game. When you're paying teams $1 million to come play, like that's.
Sorry. Northwestern is a great academic institution, but they just don't belong. Well, Iowa State can kiss my fat white ass. Like, no, they don't belong.
Right. They do if they're good enough, though.
Well, no, if they go undefeated in a real conference, they get in.
Right, exactly. Starting last year. It's a sport that never allowed for that. Now they do, and we've yet to, and we may not even ever have back-to-back years where it's the same system. We had one system last year. Now they're going to change it a little bit, and next year they have to because it runs out. After 2025, they have no plan, and that's what they're voting on right now. I'm hoping they get this figured out, but I mean, it's like after all this time of not having a system, you have a system for like a cough and you're immediately trying to change it, mess with it, fiddle with it. And now people are saying, well, you know, the SEC and the Big Ten should just go off by themselves. It's like, well, wait a minute.
You know why this is happening, right, Chad?
Money?
Well, obviously money. Last year, when everybody was so ecstatic that Alabama got left at the altar, guess what? Your chickens come home to roost, because the first thing the SEC did when their big fish, Alabama, got left away from the game was try to find a way to get them in the game.
Did you say left at the altar?
Yeah. They shouldn't have gotten their ass beat by Oklahoma.
Oh, I'm not saying they were the 13th team, though. By all performative rankings in the CFP, Alabama was number 13 and South Carolina was 14.
I don't feel bad for them for all those
teams. I don't feel bad for them either. But what I'm saying, what do you think spurs this conversation? The SEC had 2 of their big dogs not get home.
Yeah.
The Big Ten knows that there will be a year, like if in certain scenarios, Ohio State could have got left out after they lost to Michigan. If in a truncated playoff or things where it doesn't work, they're solving that problem right now, and they're leveraging the fact that they are the SEC and the Big Ten, and they could pull the plug on everybody else in a heartbeat. If they decided to just go together and bring a few others, it'd be done.
Okay, so ultimately, in the end, you think we're headed towards 9 conference games in the SEC, no SEC champion, and as many as 7 SEC teams could get into a 16-team playoff, right?
Yes.
Okay.
If you look at the baseball draw, they have 13 SEC teams in the regionals.
Yeah, okay. If you guys want to shoot us a super chat like Longhorn Football Edits did, we'll take it. It's a buy or buy, not a buy or sell. $5 buy or buy. Chance could strap up today and hold his own. Good show, fellas. Oh, that's a buy.
That's a
Buy them both. Good show. Bye.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm buying it for one game because I may not walk for a month after that. The recovery time nowadays is not the same.
What's that old saying that Toby Keith made a song out of, right? I'm not as good as I once was.
I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
There it is.
It's easy. You just go be the kicker for a game. You get a second game, nobody touches you.
That's how you pull a hamstring, sir.
Yeah, we don't want that. We don't want that. All right,
I couldn't find my hamstring.
We'll get into some rule change. We'll get into some rule changes for Chance. We'll get into some other stuff in terms of college football. But right now, let's get into a little last stand hats. You see Bo rocking one of these. We'll show you his again in a second. There's baseball and softball. Best of luck to both those teams as softball makes the World Series and baseball is trying to do the same thing. And you got all kinds of great choices. Look at all these cool hats they've got for you on the Texas side. But you know what Chance is wondering? You know what Chance wants to know? The UTEP brothers. Oh, no, not quite. Not quite. It's okay. They'll get there. They will get there. Baby steps, last stand hats, the true fans brand. Let me get you a little, let's get you a little QR code and a reminder. We have 12 different color combinations of these bad boys. The lovely Outsiders caps. Buy one for that grandmother, grandfather, aunt, uncle, sister, cousin. Buy one for everybody in the family. And we can definitely tell you, we can definitely speak to the quality. We got it. We got them right here. Check out Last Stand hats. And as I mentioned earlier, this man right here, look at that left field hat. Look at that one. Yeah, right there.
They got these in orange. I mean, hell, they not confirmed, but I'm pretty sure the owner, proprietor of Last Stand hats, Mike Murphy, will be out in left field for the regionals all weekend with a bevy, an assortment of hats, shirts, and everything else as well.
There you go. And I think I see a Bo. Is that an all gas, no brakes hat over there in the background?
Yeah, an all gas, no brakes.
Yeah, there it is. All kinds of good stuff.
Older left field hat. You
check them out. They got a lot of good stuff for you there at Last Stand hats. All right.
My memorabilia collection is as good as it ever was, I guess, to use your Toby Keith line. I got all kinds of Longhorn hats and shirts and various items.
Yeah. By the way, to Hooked on the Horns, $5 super chat. Chad, are your Aggies going to win the Cancun Regional this weekend? Yes, Hooked. They are scheduled to compete in the Cornhole Tournament this weekend in Cancun. So
you invited the core? 10. I give it a 10.
Fingers.
Are there going to be closets involved?
Fingers crossed that they can get that done. All right. Before we get to the Mach 5 top 5, do either of you have an idea of how to fix the winter portal? Let's say we're going to leave the spring portal where it is. Any ideas to fix that December problem? Chance, they've been talking about it this week. I know they can't love it. Sark and other coaches have mentioned it. What do you do, though? Where do you put it?
See, this is one of those things that I feel like was not well thought out before, and now you're really stuck because I can see an argument for the teams in the playoffs are going, like, we're in the middle of the playoffs. Like, we're not worried about the portal kids. At the same time, you got kids that may not be playing. We saw them. They had to leave the team in the middle of a playoff run. I don't think it's right. I don't know, Chad. I don't know what a good answer to it is. I really don't. I think it's a really, really bad rabbit hole that once you start going, I'm not sure where it ends.
Yeah, we've had people in the chat saying make it one portal and, instead of two. Bo, that's a decent idea. I was thinking today about, could you do something like a trade deadline in the NFL? But wait a minute, you don't have full contracts and you don't have collective bargaining and all the stuff that they have. So, like, what do you do?
But you can't do one portal, Chad. You can't do one portal because the idea of you're transferring at the semester is, look, there's not a spot for you. We're moving forward. You're not going to be on the team. So why would they stay there for spring?
Right. Exactly. No, you have to allow something. So, Bo, like, what is it? the championship game was January 20th this year. What if you did like January 25th, and then is January and April like too close together?
Well, keep in mind, they have that early portal so people can get enrolled in school. Like, I know we joke around about it like it's professional athletics, but they are supposed to still attend the university, and some universities start in mid-January. I think part of the impetus behind in the 16 teams is they're talking about cutting, and I've seen a bunch of different mock-ups of it, but getting rid of a lot of the buys, getting rid of the delays to where the season would actually end on about January 10th. And if the season does end at January 10th,
that feels reasonable.
Then you could start the winter portal. Like, basically the portal would start the week of the playoff of the final game. And obviously players aren't going to, the player is going to be real disincentivized to go to the portal before he plays in a championship game, but he still gets that window after. And let's be real, school's only a part of it. They can enroll a hair late and be fine. But I think that would be the ultimate goal, would be to have the season kind of truncate and then have the playoffs and then have the portal. And then the spring portal would be for after spring, once they've let you off campus, basically. So May, if you don't have a home the next year, you got all summer to go find one.
Yeah. All right. We'll see what they do there, because they are going to talk about that as well, trying to figure out if they need to tweak the portal. All right. I think it's just about time. I'm feeling like we need a Mach 5 Top 5 brought to you by Integro Construction Services. Bo's going to tell you about Integro, and then we're going to have Chance throw a list together. Bo, what the heck can Integro do for the people? They might really want to know right now.
What can they not do? If you're like me and everybody's chiming in at the internet's running a little slow, it's because we had storms here in Cedar Park. Golf ball size, hail, wind, the whole 9 yards. Well, I felt pretty damn good because about 2 weeks ago, Integro came out and used Go nanotechnology to spray my roof. I'm good. I'm not worried about it. Not worried about an insurance claim for hail damage. The nanotech technology adds 5 to 10 to 15 years of life to your roof. It costs less than whether your deductible's 1%, 2%, doesn't matter. Nanotech is less expensive, and it doesn't just protect against hail. It protects against wind, the sun damage. You know how your shingles, you see these on your neighbor's house where the shingles get all dry and rotty. You can see it from a distance. That ain't going to protect a darn thing. It's like reinvigorating your roof with a gel-like layer that they spray on there, and it takes care of it. Integro Construction Services is the only licensed dealer of the Go nanotechnology here in Central Texas, and you can call them 987-1273. That's 987-1273. They do a lot more than just Go Nano. That's just what I'm telling you about in light of the storms. But any major construction endeavor that you need over the summer, building a deck, helping with things around your pool, all those things, Integro Construction Services is your answer. 987-1273.
All right. Shout out to Integro. Chance, Mock, let's fix some sports, all right? Any 5 rule changes you want? Any sport is allowed? What do you have for us?
All right. I already told y'all the honorable mention because our favorite Dick wasn't here. So I had to move it to honorable mention.
Why did he become our favorite Dick? He is a Dick, but that doesn't mean he has to be our favorite.
That is a
we've had some pretty funny dicks on the show.
Wow. That's the Mach 5 Top 5 in a month.
I ain't naming them by name.
Your 5 favorite. No, that's not what we're doing.
No. All right. Number 5. Number 5 is crazy. It's the chaos coin toss. Okay. In overtime, this is an NFL rule.
Okay.
In overtime, the team who wins the chaos coin toss gets to choose one of 3 game-winning scenarios. You're either going to do the sudden death trick play. Each team gets to run one no-huddle trick play from the 25.
All right.
Or you get it from the 5. Each team gets one shot from the 5-yard line.
One play.
And you do it until somebody wins.
Now, when they're doing this, do they play M&Ms? You only get one shot in the background throughout the stadium.
If they want, Bo.
And right before that session's like dunk, 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 dunk.
Go take Go take a poll, please.
What's option 3?
Option 3 is the field goal shootout. Starting at the 40, each team takes turn kicking field goals. If both make it, they move back 5 yards and repeat until there's a winner.
So if I'm the team that has like Justin Tucker in his prime, I want to do the kicking contest.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Don't forget,
That's weird.
baseball rules could apply, and the other team could have a massage table sitting right there.
Chance, the other thing. Well done. The other thing my brain likes about the name Chaos Coin Toss is it sounds like something pro wrestling would have. So It sounds like a wrestling match to me. All right. So Chaos Coin Toss in the NFL. I like it.
Okay. Number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Part of number 4 will make sense when we get to number 3. It's an NBA rule because I can't stand basketball. Any foul committed outside of the 3-point line when the shot clock is off shall result in an optional 3 free throws. So if the shot clock's off and you foul outside the 3-point line, the team that got fouled has an optional 3 free throws to take.
What's the other option? Like if they don't want the 3 free throws.
We got to get to rule number 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, they're related. Go ahead.
They are related.
Okay.
Rule number 3 is declining the free throws. This is going to fight the hack-a-shack rule. When a foul is committed against a team, which results in a free throw, the team may elect to decline the free throws and retain possession on an out-of-bounds play.
Wow. You can just decline and take the ball.
Yeah.
You can turn
I like that one.
You can turn a foul that was going to be a free throw into just a foul to give?
Yeah, because if you got Shaq, instead of sending him to the line with an opportunity for a missed free throw and a rebound by the defense, you get to take the ball out on a play to one of your better players.
Would you go turn the shower on for Tiger Woods?
I was going to say, can you want to? I'll tell you what. You go ahead and go deal with the shower, and we'll have Bo tell him about Rogue. How about you do that?
Okay,
I feel bad for the cat.
There we go.
Deal with the cat. Go deal with the cat. Bo, tell him about Rogue Shop. Some folks may need it right now.
Well, and just so you're aware, the fact that a cat takes a shower isn't because I've imbibed Rogue Shop products. It is actually true. Chance's cat calms down in the shower. A lot of things are on Orange Bloods over the last couple of weeks. A lot of things in the news about a bill that's going through the House about getting rid of THC. I'm not going to get into the politics or the legality. I just want all of our listeners and viewers to know Rogue Shop is their doors are wide open. They can still service all your needs, whether it's gummies, brownie kits, smokables, flour, lollipops, whatever you need. Rogue Shop has your answers, and it is legal where their farm is to ship it to you. If you have questions about all those things, just go to the website, rogueshop.com, and a little chat box comes up, and the owner or his wife, Charmaine, will jump on there and answer all the questions you have. Get 10% off your order, code OUTSIDERS. But here's the thing, Rogue Shop, they can cure anxiety. Maybe not cure, they can temper down anxiety, nervousness, social, like whatever you need, they have products. They can make you sleep better. They can make you feel better. They can make you go to the party and not feel like a weirdo, even though you're probably acting like one. It's Rogue Shop. 10% off. You mentioned the Outsiders.
There you have it. All right. Shout out to Rogue Shop and shout out to Tiger. Have a great shower, young man. And Chance got them all set up. All right. So, Chance, we left off at declining the free throw. So let me make sure I'm understanding this again. I've got Shaq, and he's horrible. They foul him, so Shaq has to go to the line. How many can I decline it over and over again? Do I get just one chance? Like, how are you?
No, you get if it's a penalty resulting in free throws, the team which the penalty occurred against can decline the free throws. So it just turns into an out of bounds play. Obviously, you're not going to design an out of bounds play to Shaq where you can get fouled again.
Well, just like in the NFL, when they try to gain more yards on a punt and they delay of game it, the other team can decline the penalty and make you punt it from the same spot.
Interesting. That's an interesting idea. Okay, Chance.
Which goes back to Chad, just so you tie it all together. That's why the 3-point foul shall result in an optional 3 free throws.
The optional 3, because then you could technically decline them if you wanted to.
Yeah, because if you foul Shaq outside the 3-point line, you don't want him taking three.
You don't want him taking the three. Okay, fair enough. Hey, you know what? They're stopping NBA games for all kinds of reviews and stuff now. I don't think you would add much time to games with your idea there. You might actually quicken up a game.
NBA thing that you speak of. I don't watch it.
No, I like that Chance is taking trying to fix the NBA.
I'm trying to because I can't watch it right now.
All right, you got two more, Chance. These are rules.
The Timberwolves scored a whopping 9 points in the first quarter tonight.
Oh, well, they're on 9 anyway.
Wait, who did?
The T-Wolves.
The whole team?
Yeah, they scored 9.
That's brutal.
At least according to the text I just got. And then Anthony Edwards went to take a breather.
Okay, so
my rule 9 and your leading scorer is taking a breather, you got problems in an elimination game.
My rule change would be if you score 9 as an NBA team in any quarter, it should be upped to 10. Like just automatically give us double digits.
My rule is if you score 9 in a quarter, you're just done. Your franchise is just you're over. You don't like getting play anymore.
It's like getting skunked in ping pong. If you score 9 in a quarter, we're done. The game is over.
If you score 9, then your WNBA affiliate comes up and plays the second half.
Hey, I was gonna say, yeah, that the WNBA could definitely outshoot 9 points, I think. All right, Chance, what are your last two? Are you still fixing basketball or are you moving on?
No, we're moving on to football for my last two because these two are important to me.
Okay.
Number 2, if the quarterback becomes a runner, he's a runner. When the quarterback leaves the pocket and becomes a runner, he shall be treated as such. Furthermore, if the quarterback as a runner tries to fake a slide or stepping out of bounds and continues to run, a penalty shall be assessed against the offense, i.e. like a fake fair catch. So that nonsense that Mahomes did, like I'm about to step out of bounds and everybody knows they can't touch him because if they do, they're going to get a penalty. And then all of a sudden he skirts down the sideline for another 30. No, sir. Not only are you down back there, it's a penalty for being a jackass.
I like the idea. Who was the quarterback in college that did the fake slide? Was it a Pitt quarterback?
It was Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. Yes. When he was at Pitt, right?
To fake the slide. It was pretty cool when you saw it the first time because you're like, whoa, he got one. Like, he had him.
It was incredible. But Chance, I do, there's merit to what you're saying because I just think we need to respect. You guys are taught in football to respect the line of scrimmage, right? It's an important thing for a lot of reasons. You need your idea, I think, adds a reason. When you're the quarterback and you choose to cross that line with the football, we got to treat you a certain way. We got to treat everybody that's got the ball crossing that line essentially the same way. You can't go head hunting necessarily. If somebody gets crushed in the head, it can still be a penalty. But I like your idea. I like that. It's good. Quarterback as a runner. All right. What's number 1?
Number 1 ties a little bit into number 2 as well. But targeting, we're done with the suspensions in college football on targeting.
Ooh,
if a player is called for targeting, the team must play a man down for the sequential 4 plays or remainder of the drive, whichever comes first.
Oh my God, you're putting the hockey rule into football?
Yeah.
You're going 5-minute majors.
We're going 11 on 10?
Don't get a targeting call.
See, I think that might be a little too far for them, but the beginning of what you said, Chance, we talked about it, I think is the answer. It's just go stand on the sideline for the rest of the drive. If it's that bad, maybe it's the rest of the drive, but hallelujah, brother. We got to stop kicking these guys out of the game. I'm with you.
Even if that's not the rule, the suspension the next game is the stupidest damn rule of all time.
Yeah, but Bo, it's only if the foul occurs in the 3rd or 4th quarter that it's the next game.
Yeah, right. The play before half, a guy takes a guy's head off like last Boy Scout style. He gets to play the next week, but a maybe call, you're out.
Like, I can't believe all those years where we rightfully worship Nick Saban for what he was. Badass coach, maybe the best badass coach in college football history, but that's a defensive coach. I can't believe that he and other coaches allowed that crap to happen when it happened. Like, it's just one of the goofiest rules I've ever heard of. Still drives me crazy. I like the ideas, Chance. All right, Bo, there's the list from Chance. The chaos coin toss at 5, NBA rules at 4 and 3 with the free throw declining and optional free throws. I love all that. Quarterback runner rule at 2, and the targeting suspensions are done at number 1 in college football. What do you do? Do you have any adjustments to make?
I'm getting rid of his chaos coin toss. It's
Oh,
a great name. It is an absolute great name.
It really is.
But I'm going to take 2 rules of golf and combine them in this one master rule at 5.
All right.
1, playing from a divot is the stupidest damn rule. And this isn't 1912. If your ball's in a divot, just move the damn thing out. I don't care if it's the U.S. Like, you should not be penalized because the guy in front of you couldn't clean up his damn mess. You didn't make the divot. Unless they can prove that the divot you're sitting in is one that you made during that tournament, then no. Just because the other guy's caddy sucks, you shouldn't be penalized. So that rule is out. But along the same lines,
divot?
Huh?
Is it a natural divot or a synthetic divot? That's the question.
What I'm saying is just move your ball over 2 inches and call it a damn day. It's a stupid rule.
Yep.
Like, the second one is they're having to make the courses too long for the guys that just hit it too damn. Like, you're seeing major championships where they're carrying 320-yard bunkers.
Mm-hmm.
That is not what the game was designed to be like. It was designed where you had to move your golf ball and not just hit it the furthest. All PGA players should have to play with persimmon drivers, just like I did my freshman year in high school.
Oh, God.
And if those things aren't going 330, I don't care how hard you swing it, because the face will explode because it's made of wood and not titanium inserted crap. Now, maybe I have a blown out shoulder at this point and can't hit it out of my own shadow, but screw that. Everybody should be able to. Golf's a game that you should hit driver 5-iron into a par 4 once in a while, not driver sandwich every damn hole. Make them hit wooden drivers.
Chance, this really is the night Bo becomes an old man. That really is a full transition. That was well done. Like, it was just, you started with a rule that makes total sense, that we've watched the divot thing, and then you went to the persimmon driver.
I couldn't be too normal.
Then you went to let's hit it on the screws.
I had to hit it off Frankenstein's fat foot. You can hit it out of a divot.
That's it. Kids, if you haven't looked up what hit it on the screws means, go look it up, because that's the kind of golf club that Bo is talking about for these guys to use.
I still have one. I have an old Mizuno persimmon. Be awesome.
Here's what I think, Bo. They should have a tournament. I don't even know how you do it. Maybe it's a pro-am. Maybe it's a round of a particular tournament. I do think that in both golf and tennis, I think it'd be great if you force old equipment on the best of that day, just occasionally. Maybe it doesn't even count, but let's see what happens. I'd love to.
What if you did that? What's the deal that they do? It's great. Like, they did the Brady one. It's not the challenge. What do they call it? Those
ones that they do them in Vegas. The
match. The match. Yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe at those things where you're raising money and it's not really, it's not a PGA event.
Like, it was. I think at one time they did Mickelson versus Tiger or something in the match. It was Peyton versus Brady.
See, you just hit it, Chance.
They had Mickelson and Tiger too, or whoever else they had. I remember who was on.
Yeah, but do that with old school clubs.
Pick. You're right, Chance. They like a particular hole. It's pick a hole, like one of the par 3s and one of the par 5s. Force them to use old stuff. Just force them to use the clubs from Bagger Vance for like 2 holes.
It'd be awesome.
Yes, that would be great. I love the idea.
And I'm going to cheat, because I'm also going to say electronic umpires in baseball would be light years better than the fat tubs of crap they have back there now that can't call strikes.
Robot umps. Okay. All right. Real quick. Big Cheddar has a super chat idea for $10. Thank you, Big Cheddar. Men's college hoops. Just go to 4 10-minute quarters, and team fouls reset after each quarter. Also advance the ball to midcourt after a timeout in the last 2 minutes of a game. Interesting that Big Cheddar brought this up. I totally agree with this one, fellas. Women's college basketball went to quarters. It creates more moments, and it's a little easier to sort of deal with. NBA obviously has been quarters forever. Men's college basketball should consider this idea. They absolutely should.
I have no issue with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's an easy fix. Easy to understand once you get there, where the timeouts go.
It doesn't even change the game very much. It just
no.
you put it right. I hadn't thought of it that way. It gives you more moments.
Yeah. Just more, end of a quarter situations. In just watching that first season of women's basketball, it gave it a little energy. And I went, oh, yeah, that makes total sense. The men should probably think about doing that. Big Cheddar, thank you for that idea. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, let me look at this list here because Bo just basically got rid of one rule and added 3. Chance, can we allow such a thing? I don't know what happened. He took your chaos coin toss and he added 3 rules in.
I made it a chaos rule toss. Shut up.
There was 3 options to the chaos coin toss, though.
Yeah.
Man, all I know.
Rule number 5 is now the chaos rule. It was chaos coin toss. Now it's chaos other crap.
Dude, do y'all remember when the Von Erichs beat the Freebirds in the chaos coin toss in like 87? Oh my God, it was such
I think me and Chance have the same answer, but I don't
such a good match.
Like
such a good match. All right, yeah. The only Chance went right to tugging on my heartstrings when he said get rid of the targeting suspensions. He knows that's one of mine, so I can't take that away from number 1. Let's see. I love the. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do, Chance. Because Bo just put 3 rules in one, I'm going to take your 2 NBA rules and combine them at number 3. We're going to open up a spot. How about that?
Perfect.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to bracket those.
You're the arbiter of truth. You can do whatever the hell you want.
I'm going to do whatever I want. And all I'm going to do, fellas, y'all know I'd like to work on challenge systems. I'd like to work on that a little bit, but somebody's got to save basketball. So I'm going to save basketball. It needs saving. It doesn't want to save itself. I'm going to save it because it's
into pickleball.
It's been there for years. The idea is right in front of them. They just need to do it. So here's what we're going to do. The 3 years or until you turn 21 rule that has worked masterfully for college baseball. Now we're going to do it for college basketball. Should have been doing it the whole time. Let's do it before this sport officially dies. We good?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Because, Chad, the odds of the NCAA gaining more power instead of less is highly likely in today's climate.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
That seems like a rule that'll be adopted next week.
Exactly. If they had just done that in like 1992, somewhere in there, we would have a lot different world in basketball right now. So that would be my idea. Or if you want to tweak up the challenge system in the NFL and college football, we should probably do that.
Wait, Chad. Next week, you get Oklahoma City versus Indianapolis for a championship. It's fantastic. When the ratings go absolutely bombastic, maybe they will implement rules like that. Because you thought the NBA was hurting before. Wait until nobody watches their grand stage.
I do have to say, though, Bo, I've enjoyed this. I enjoyed this new blood thing this year. It doesn't need to be every year, but I do enjoy those 2 stars on those teams, and the idea that one of them gets a ring, I kind of like it. I'm rooting for SGA, but I know what you're saying. Their ratings are going to be awful. It's going to be terrible.
Look, I'll watch because I'm a sports fan. I have no dog in the fight. I don't care if Oklahoma City wins or Indianapolis wins. You watch for the moments. You watch for the – and, yes, SGA is awesome to watch. You know what? There's a few other guys that are pretty fun to watch in this series. And a Longhorn and Miles Turner could get him a ring. But it will be one of the worst things that ever happened to the NBA. Because when their showcase event gets outdrawn by a WNBA game with Caitlin Clark, it's going to look really bad.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens. I'm not sure. I like on some level, I get JD's right. It should be about the players and not the cities. Because when San Antonio was doing what they were doing, I think some people outside of the market.
San Antonio had star power.
Right. But I'm saying
international flair and star power.
Right. But this is young star power. You got to build up the young stars, don't you?
It's never heard of star power.
You haven't.
Think about it this way. Where did Shea Gilgeous-Alexander go to college?
Kentucky.
I don't even know
that because you're a nerd. Huh?
I don't even know who that is.
He just won the MVP.
Chance, will you please not don't help me prove Bo's points?
That's my point right there.
Damn it.
Y'all were saying SGA is a good player, and I was like, who?
Damn.
He thinks it's an airline that's taking over SWA.
Oh, that is funny. All right. Let's see. There's other people throwing in weird rule changes.
I don't even know who that is.
Bo laying out the other people knew it was Kentucky. Mark C with a weird one.
Basketball fans know it's Kentucky.
No fist bumps allowed when you miss a free throw. A free throw has been the same since they started playing ball. No reason to have a 53% free throw percentage and getting paid $25 million a year. That's a weird one, Mark. You can't fit. What? No encouragement when I miss a free throw?
Exactly. Okay. Stop missing the damn free throws. You're a professional athlete.
Yeah, probably that's probably fair. All right, let's see. We've fixed the rule, so that's what I'm gonna end. I'll throw in the basketball overall at number 3. Chances 2 NBA rules can live at 4. Chances NBA rules live at 3. The quarterback runner rule at 2, and we got to stop kicking people out of football games at 1. That's what we're gonna do. That's what it is. All right, Bo threw golf rules in. I can throw a tennis rule in. Would you? Here's a question for you guys, real quick. Would either of you watch any more of like the men's final at Wimbledon if it was 2 out of 3 instead of 3 out of 5 sets? Would that change anything about the sport for you?
Yes.
Would you watch it more?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Look,
Chance, would you care more about? I mean, I've been wondering for years if they need to just go ahead and bite this bullet and go, because I don't think the interest in that sport is that they're playing 3 out of 5 sets. I really don't.
I think the question is for more people like you that are in tune to it, because for me, I'm going to watch. If Wimbledon's on, I'll watch it. But I'm not going to go seek it out on the TV to find it. Like, it's not that big. But I love watching it. Like, if it's on, I love watching it. And I love when it's a good match and they're going back and forth. Do I lose interest a little bit? I mean,
yeah. But if I could get it to where it's always about 2 hours or so, 2.5.
I think it would be
instead of all that other stuff. Because the other thing I don't get, just to throw it out, I don't get the weird sexism in tennis. I've never had it explained to me. Why do the women play 2 out of 3 and the men play 3 out of 5 at the majors?
Makes no sense.
Like, why? Yeah. It's about butts and seats, right? Billie Jean King and Venus, and they fought for butts and seats, and they won. They get equal money. It's like, okay, so one of the two things has to occur. Either
it's also a very weird sport, Chad, from the standpoint of I'm not saying, we've seen men play women and whatever, but it's a sport that stands uniquely alone from a standpoint. When you watch women's tennis, the quality is just as good as the men's tennis.
Yeah, it's awesome. But I never watch it, Chance, and think, what's wrong with this match? Needs to be 3 out of 5. Ever. Never once have I thought that. So why? So
especially
if it's so great, make the women do it, or just admit that 2 out of 3 is a little more reasonable and let the men play 2 out of 3. It's got to me, it's one of those two things.
Well, and 2 out of 3, and the way tennis is played now versus the way it was played long ago, it goes fast. You could gain a lot more viewers with 2 out of 3 sets with these power servers. It would definitely fit within like an hour and a half, 2 hour window. People would commit to that. Yeah. But, Wimbledon having a 5-hour match, people aren't going to sit at sorry, golf's the same way. Very rarely are people sitting around for 5 hours to get to the finality of it. You lose eyeballs, and eyeballs control the purse strings, and purse strings control the power. Just make it shorter, make it snappier, and it'll be great.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. I got my tennis snobbery in at the end. All right, gentlemen, anything else we need to hit tonight on the Outsiders? Any other rules you want to throw in? Chance, live animals at a soccer game? What do you want? What do you like?
Well, I did want to have a dick move with Jason not being here.
Sounds like a personal problem.
References Chance because Chance isn't going to like when he hears this news.
Okay.
Sports Illustrated came out with their predictions for the rest of 2025. Who do you think they predicted to win the Super Bowl in the ultimate cover jinx? Things don't go well for you when Sports Illustrated, a dying animal, picks you.
Uh-oh.
Don't say Buffalo.
Not just Buffalo. Buffalo led by league MVP Josh Allen.
Oh, God. Look,
So now we got Hard Knocks, and we got that.
And then, but it works out well for Longhorn fans. They picked the Saints to get the first overall pick next year. What do you think the natural piggyback tie-in would be, right?
Oh, that's Art. That's got Arch written all over it. Yeah.
No, because they predict Arch will be coming back for his next year. It's his coach that will be going to coach the Saints.
Oh, I see. I hadn't thought of. Okay, all right.
With rumblings that Arch will be there the next year and will sit out to be with his boy if they're at the in true Manning style. I'm not going there. I'm going to New Orleans. So you better figure it out with the fourth pick.
Hey, I think after he coaches Arch Manning in this season, Sark's going to have one clear thought in his brain. If that kid wants to throw passes at Texas, I'm the coach at Texas. Yes. That's what's going to occur to him as he's watching these games. Period.
Sorry, I was the dick there, Chance. I let you know that about your bill.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. ATX Bates. This is a how dare you of immense proportions. $4.99 super chat. Once a century, the Aggies get to claim a natty from an SEC team since they can't win their own. How dare you?
How in football, or is it any sport?
You know what, ATX Bates? We ought to just shut down the chats because of you. We ought to just shut down super chats just because of you. Yeah. Might do it.
By the way, make sure they know we don't have a show next week.
That is true. Next week, no outsiders. We got summertime stuff going on. I'm going to be on a trip, and the guys have other stuff going on. So we're just going to take a week.
Jason's still going to be playing cards. And
Jason, hopefully, is going to be at the table with like KGB and guys in sunglasses and Oreos and all kinds of good stuff. So hopefully he's winning millions of dollars.
You want to talk about a room that doesn't look like it's seen the light of day or a woman in a long time? Having been in a few of those, sit in a World Series of poker lobby at like week 3, and there's not a lot of.
That's good stuff.
There's not a lot of melanin in the room. It is all pasty.
Bo, are there people that stand around those tables for the whole thing? Like, are there fans of the World Series of Poker that just watch the whole thing?
Not in the smaller field stuff like the $1,500 events that I've participated in.
But when you get to the big deal, right? The big $1 million.
There's a ton of people around the rail.
That's awesome. That is so good. Jason,
they have bleachers. They have bleachers that surround. Like they have the tables when you get down to like 27 people and it's 3 tables. They're up on a stage, like raised, like, and then. There's stadiums, like bleacher seats around it. There's freaking waiters coming around with cocktails. It's a lot of fun.
I would love to go be in Vegas sometime and just get hammered to hell and watch it. I don't want to play it because I'm not that good. I'm not that patient to do it all. But I don't, especially if Jason Dick was making his move. Oh, that would be awesome.
So you can ask Jason. He was making a run. I think it was 2018. Was the last time I was out in Vegas, and my event was a one-day event, and I cashed. Humble brag, I did okay in my event. I made a decent amount of money that got reported to the IRS.
Nice,
but my event was done, and his was going. Like I got knocked out in 193rd place at like about 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
He was on day 3 of this 888 monster tournament that started with 6,000 people and was down to like the last 1,000. And I'm celebrating winning a decent amount of shekels. And I'm Randy Quaid in Vegas Vacation walking up to Jason with like Bush Light tied to my belt, big old drink, happy as I can be because I just won a few grand. Jason Dick. I didn't even know he was there. And he's like, I'm busy. No, you're not. My event's over. He's like, no. It's worked out. Like, Jason, it's cool. They don't care if I talk to you. And he's like, I'm busy.
He's like, yeah, they kind of do. They kind of do.
They don't care if you talk. But he was like, I'm in the middle of a hand, asshole.
Right. He cared that you talked at that point.
He did, but he did okay in that tournament. But yeah, I really did have my Randy Quaid moment because I'm wearing my I cashed in the World Series shirt and big drink.
That is awesome. Speaking of shirts, that red beautiful poncho that Chance has on tonight, it is called the Chilton, if you want to check it out. Mother of Pearl snaps, That's a short sleeve baddie, right? The short sleeve. Yeah. They got a long sleeve version too. You can check out what that one's called. You can get that one ordered. I love these t-shirts so much. I sleep in one every single night if I can do it. And thanks to Bo Edge, I do have a couple of these shirts. And thanks to the good folks at Poncho. Also, you want to go fishing? They got fishing shirts. PonchoOutdoors.com. Mention the Outsiders. Short sleeve, long sleeve. The performance crews are incredible. Those hoodies are amazing. So many different designs, colors, styles. Want to go regular button? You can do it. If you're like us, you want to go that more Western style with the mother of pearl snap. That's the way I do it. Chance does it. Bo's into those. Jason's into those as well. In fact, I don't have any of the regular button ones yet. I'm just addicted.
Home, Jason. Come home.
Come home, Jason Dick. I am addicted to the mother of pearl snaps. That's all I've got when it comes to the Poncho shirts. So thank you guys for jumping in. We appreciate you. Remember, like, subscribe, get your notifications. No show next week. We'll be back in a couple weeks. Until then, we are the Outsiders, and we are legitimately worth a shit. Jason Dick,